Right. So what's really interesting now, and I think why a lot of pharmaceutical companies I think there are multiple reasons why companies are excited about developing orphan drugs. First of all, I think the risk can be much lower. And when they say they're interested in orphan drugs, I think a lot of the times what they're really saying is they want a drug where there's a very clear marker where you can target the patient population very clearly so you know which patients could potentially benefit from the drug. Particularly if the science is simple. Enzyme replacement therapy is what a lot of pharmaceutical companies are looking for, and there the science is very clear and simple. Patients are missing a particular enzyme, and therefore if you can replace that enzyme somehow, you have a valid therapy, something that could potentially change the whole future course of the disease, maybe even cure a particular disease. A lot of these diseases affect children, so I think there's a very compelling reason to approve these drugs. There can be fast pass through the FDA, there can be organizational financing, there can be grant financings for these drugs, and from a commercial standpoint, because there aren't that many patients, the price that can be charged per patient can be very substantial. There are patient activist groups also that can campaign for approval of the drug, that can support the development of that drug. So both from a scientific standpoint, companies are looking for low-risk trials where they aren't that likely to make a mistake. They're looking for products that are potentially safe. If you can get good intellectual property, that's even better, and you can potentially get that with some of these orphan drugs. And the upside can be very substantial. I think if you go back maybe 10 or 15 years before companies like Genzyme and BioMarin came along and Alexion came along, people didn't think you could ever make real money, but we've seen drugs that are $500 million, even $1 billion drugs for indications where there are very few patients, namely orphan drugs.